Tracy is a graduate of the University of Illinois in Agricultural Communications. She is a farm broadcaster, has worked for the stations like WGN, WILL, and the Brownfield Network. She has also worked in advertising for Ray and Kaiser Marketing. Tracy is currently a senior sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics. She became a beauty consultant in November of 1999 and debuted as a sales director July of 2006. Some of her favorite Mary Kay accomplishments include being on the company's Queen's Court of Personal Sales 8 times, receiving a gorgeous diamond ring and an iPad, a grill, and several $500 checks. She has been named Miss Go Give twice by her sister consultants, which is based on the Go Give spirit and a consistent work habit. Tracy has earned a mere 4 free cars in Mary Kay, is currently working to earn her 5th free car this spring. She also loves to serve in her community, where she was a trustee for the Village of Newark for 6 years and currently leads a 4-H club, a women's Bible study with the Bible Study Fellowship Organization, and serves as a 3rd and 4th grade Sunday school teacher at her church. Tracy's married to Joe, who is an agriculture education teacher at Newark High School. And they have 2 sons, Ty, who's 12 and in 6th grade, and Toby, who is 8 and in 3rd grade. Speaking today about the Mary Kay Foundation as today's presentation for the Romeoville Rotary Speakers Series, please welcome Tracy Steffen.
Thank you for that warm welcome, and thank you, Craig, for inviting me to speak to this group. I will tell you at the end of the presentation, I'm probably going to take a selfie with all of you in the background so that I can post that, if that's okay. So if anyone doesn't want to be on Facebook, you can go ahead and move and not be in the picture, but we'll do that at the end. So, well, I'm excited to share with you today about the Mary Kay Foundation, which is our charitable branch of our company. And I think that you're going to find, much like Rotary, and by the way, this is my first official Rotary meeting, so I really appreciate being here. But much like Rotary, I think you're going to find that Mary Kay is, our values and our principles definitely align as organizations. So your organization is well known for your service and your contribution. You should all be applauded. And Mary Kay believed and ran her company on the principles of faith first, family second, and career third. She lived by the golden rule and expected her beauty consultants to also treat others as they would want to be treated. And before I dig into the foundation, I do want to share just a little bit about Mary Kay, the company. Are any of you familiar? How familiar? I don't know. Do you know about Mary Kay? Do you not know? But some of you might not. Okay. Well, just really quick, I get asked this a lot, and so I wanted to share. There really was a woman named Mary Kay Ash who started our company, and it happened back in 1963 in September. So our company is 54 years old, and the long and short of the story is this. If you know anything, in the 60s, she was a single mom with 3 children, and she was working in sales and quite good at it, and she was training, and a lot of times she was passed up for management positions because they went to a man. And so she kind of got upset, and she started to write down, if I had a company, this is what I would want to enrich women's lives. And that's really honestly how Mary Kay was born. So she really wanted to find a way, an avenue to advance women, basically. And so here we are, 54 years later, and Mary Kay has 3.5 million beauty consultants worldwide. We're in over 35 countries, and we are family-owned and debt-free, which is pretty cool to know about our company. So I've been with the company for, if you did the math, 17 years, and so I'm excited to be representing Mary Kay today and to the foundation. So Craig shared with me that your group specifically here locally works to fight domestic violence. Is that right? Am I on the right page with everybody? Okay. So I'm here today to kind of maybe share a few tools that we have through the foundation that could be useful to you. I was speaking with you earlier, and it turns out that your shelter that you all refer people to actually has already received grants from the Mary Kay Foundation, and they were well aware of the foundation. So I'm really glad to hear that. I didn't have a chance to check before I came to check that out. But anyway, just a little history about the foundation. So virtually everyone, I bet if I were to ask in this room, how many of you know someone who has had cancer? Anyone? Yes? I'm really surprised it's not 100%. So in this day and age, it kind of seems to be. But anyway, Mary Kay's personal encounter came in 1980 when her husband, Mel Ash, died of lung cancer. And then she had several family members also who fought cancer, and she became very passionate about finding a cure. So in 1987, she decided to put her money where her heart was, and she asked the employees at Mary Kay and the independent sales force, that would be those of us who are consultants, to go ahead and form the Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation, and that was started in 1996. So our foundation has been around for a few years, and that was the formalization of the raising and the distributing of research funds and cancers affecting women. In 2009, the name of the foundation was actually changed to the Mary Kay Foundation, which is what it is today. So the other part I will tell you is we added the cause of domestic violence in 2000. So initially it started to fight cancer research, but domestic violence was added as early as 2000. I do want you to be aware that through the donations of the foundation, 97% actually go to funding research, and the foundation runs all their administrative costs on 3%. So if you were to compare, this is an interesting statistic, most nonprofits rely on corporate sponsorships, and they still spend anywhere from 15 to 20% on overhead and administrative costs. So I think Mary Kay is doing a great job on 3%. So in terms of the donations and how they're collected, I wanted to kind of share that with you. Donations do go directly to funding cancer research, and it goes directly to improving women's shelters and funding programs and organizations and education to help both cancer survivors and domestic violence survivors. Most of the funding for the foundation comes from the sales force, so from the beauty consultants, and here's how it works. So we have the opportunity to make donations every year. We have our seminars in Dallas in July, and there's a booth where we can literally go and hand them cash, and that's what we do. And so just the most recent example, I don't have the 2016 figures, but the 2015 figures, we raised over $375,000 just at once. Well, we have there were 4 seminars in 2015. So in 4 different groups of us, about 10,000 in each group, we raised over $375,000 just that 1-2-week span, okay? And the other thing that happens is, so we also have a leadership conference, which is directors only, and that's in January. And then we have our career conferences, which everyone is able to go to, and those are in March and in about 20 cities across the U.S. So again, at all of those company events, we have the opportunity to donate money to the foundation just directly for them to use. In addition to that, many consultants and directors choose to have fundraisers. It could be they organize locally walks or whatever the case may be to raise funds, and then they can donate that way too. Okay, so we're here today because we're all in agreement that we want to stop the violence and break the silence when it comes to domestic violence. So the Mary Kay Foundation has awarded $40 million in grant money to shelters for women and children in all 50 states, and that's since 2000. So $40 million has already been given directly to shelters. It's usually given to them in $20,000 increments that goes to the shelters, and each year they award so many. Many cases of domestic violence go unreported, so statistics are difficult to get, as we know. However, the Family Prevention Fund estimates that between 960,000 and 3 million incidents of family violence go on each year. And in 2015, the National Census of Domestic Violence Services reports that more than 71,800 victims were served on the day of September 16th. So domestic violence, it's the #1 cause of injury among women who are 15 to 44. That's pretty staggering when you think about it. These victims suffer emotionally too from either depression, anxiety, social isolation, and domestic abuse occurs in women of all ages, all income levels, and all educational backgrounds. So let's take a quick break here for 1 second from domestic violence. And if you remember, I said also that the foundation funds cancer research, and I'd like to share those statistics with you too. In 2015, the foundation awarded $1.3 million in grants to select doctors and medical students focusing on curing cancers that affect women. There were 13 recipients across the U.S., and they each received $100,000 to conduct cutting-edge research. Since '96, when we started, the foundation has given more than $21.7 million to support cancer research. So again, that's pretty awesome. At the end of my presentation, I have a couple handouts for you, and in case you were curious, I'm going to give you our milestones so you can read some of those. I didn't want to give you a ton of statistics, but I'm really proud of the foundation. So, okay. You can also, I will reference, we have a website specific to the Mary Kay Foundation, and all of that information will be on my handouts, where you can see all of the programs that we're involved with. But I wanted to get specific about a couple things with domestic violence. So we started, specifically, it's called a Love is Respect campaign. It's targeted at women who are really high school to college age dating range, and it's when they're in unhealthy relationships. So we have used celebrity spokespersons like Debbie Ryan from Disney Channel, as well as Kelsey Ballerino, who's a country singer. They've been spokesmen for this campaign, which is pretty cool to get the word out among that age group. And simply, the girls can text Love Is, and they can get help from that end. So it's a very easy process to do. The other thing I think specifically in what we were talking about are the shelter grants. In 2017 grants, the applications are currently open right now, and you simply go online to fill out the grant and submit it. I've been told that the Joliet Shelter has been awarded a grant before, maybe a couple of them, which is amazing. And as you can see, Mary Kay is super generous. So they do hand out each year $150,000, $20,000 grants. So, and that's in a total of $3 million that they give away. Let's see, what else would I share with you just really quickly? Oh, April 30th, by the way, would be the deadline to finish submitting for that grant. I did want to go over, I have a couple of handouts in a second that I'm going to pass out, but I don't like people to look at papers while I'm speaking, so I chose not to do that. But I think at this point, maybe this would be a good spot for me to just open it up for questions that you might have about the foundation or anything that maybe I could help you all with. I guess I should say one other quick thing. A way that I don't have direct connections with domestic violence shelters because, as you know, a lot of times they're secure and they're private. But I know in the past we have either donated product to the women to use. As you all know, makeup can sometimes help a woman feel better, especially when she's in a place where she's not very confident after having been through situations. So we certainly can help in those terms of donating products, or possibly going in and doing a presentation or doing a makeover on her just to help her, give her a pick-me-up. I'm sure we could probably organize clothes donations because I know as a corporate cause we do that as well at our seminars where we donate used suits that help women restart who enter the working world again. So that would be one other touch that I would say. So any questions that I would take from the audience? Does anyone have questions they might like to ask?
So can we apply as a group for that grant?
I'm not sure that I know the answer to that question. I believe it's the shelter that has to apply because they go directly to shelters, not to groups. So probably the best way, I don't know if you could write a recommendation on behalf of the shelter that would weigh with the committee deciding would probably be the best way you could help. Or the other way that you can help is honestly probably just to donate funds directly to that would then go to the shelter. That they would just filter through the foundation. And there is a donation. You can go directly on the website and donate that way, or you can write checks and mail it. All the information is online. So, yes.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you very much.
Okay. Really quickly, I'll just show you. I forgot to mention these. There are several awesome pieces, and I'll just leave them on the table if you would like to. I only printed one. These are all free to you. They're on the site, but there is there's a breast care, a self-examination card that you can have printed. There's a couple pieces about domestic violence that you can have printed. Several resources that are available to you on our website. So I thought if you want to see those, you certainly can. And then I will hand out a few things. I did bring each of you a gift. On the gift is my card. And on the back, there are just some 800 numbers, one that affects cancer and anyone suffering from domestic violence to help them, as well as the foundation's website. So all of the information is in a spot for you to help you out with that as well. So, okay. All right. If there's no other questions, then thank you so much for being a champion audience.
Thank you.